I stood in the dim light of the old family home, the scent of stale coffee and burnt toast wrapping around me like a shroud. The walls felt like they were closing in, memories echoing back to a time when my dreams were nothing but a punchline. "You'll lose your mind, Jamie," they'd said, laughter spilling from their lips like poison. "You're chasing shadows, and it'll only end in disgrace." It was true. I had lost my mind, lost it to the whispers that haunted the dark corners of abandoned homes, to the shadows that danced just beyond the reach of the light. I had become a spectral exterminator, a name that made my family cringe. They couldn't see the truth. The infestations I dealt with were not just pests, but the remnants of lives lived and lost. I was no longer the object of their ridicule. I was a warning, a ghost story they would tell their children about the dangers of disbelief. Years had passed since I'd fled this suffocating place, armed with nothing but a notebook and a determination that bordered on madness. I had ventured into the darkest corners of the world, mapping cursed territories, documenting haunted architecture, and exposing the spectral vermin that thrived where the living dared not tread. Each encounter had twisted me, pulled me closer to the edge of sanity. "You think my work is delusional? You've never seen what I've seen." I pulled out my notebook, pages filled with sketches of spectral entities and notes on their behaviors. "These are not just stories. They are warnings. You mocked me, but I survived what you refused to believe." Their eyes widened, and I could see the flicker of fear in their gazes. "You need help, Jamie," my father said, his voice thick with concern. "This isn't normal. You need to let it go." But I couldn't let it go. I had touched the darkness, and it had marked me. "You'll see," I whispered, a chill curling through the air. "You'll see soon enough." As dusk settled, I began to recount my most harrowing encounters, the stories spilling from my lips like a confession. The family sat in rapt attention, their laughter replaced by an uneasy silence. I spoke of the mansion on the hill, the one that had once been a grand estate filled with laughter and light. Now it was a tomb, overrun by shadows that whispered the names of the lost. I had walked its halls, feeling the weight of their despair press against my chest. The spectral vermin gnawing at the edges of reality. "I heard them," I said, my voice low and trembling. They called out to me, begging for release. I could see my brother's face pale, my sister's hands tremble as she wrapped them tightly around her knees. I became their exterminator, but it was never just about the pests. It was about confronting the truth of what we leave behind. And then, as if summoned by my words, the air shifted. The lights flickered, plunging us into darkness for just a heartbeat, before the glow returned, revealing the specter's swirl.